The Pat Mayo Experience.
Pat Mayo Experience. Pat Mayo Experience. Pat Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience Dell Technologies Championship, the second leg. The FedEx Cup playoffs, picks, preview, bets, one and done. And if you think I'm giving you some side eye, I'm not. I have an eye infection and I'm powering through the show anyway because, hey, we hit a winner. So it's not like we're not going to come on and brag because we hit winners so infrequently. Go Bryson!
Yeah, don't touch me. Exciting. We said we weren't going to let him get away with it. And time again, it was the British Open, it was the PGA Championship, came on here and I just ranted and said it's egregious, the price. And last week I think I still ranted, even though I posted the clip that said, because I think right after that, there was a rant. That being said, we weren't going to let him get away with it.
No, and we did.
80-1.
A lot of people out there hit too, which was awesome to see.
Yeah.
The best bet I saw on the weekend was like the
Brooke Henderson.
The clearly from Canada parlay, which had Bryson, Brooke Henderson, and the Jays money line. $16 bet pays 20 grand.
Can I tell you something? That Jays game, I think it was Friday night, they came back from like 3 runs in the 8th or 9th.
So there you go.
Ridiculous.
Imagine if that was the thing to blow it for you on a 3-leg parlay. You have 2 golfers in a baseball game. It's the baseball game that's the loser.
Well, I could never speak ill will of a double or a juice up, but I don't like the ones that require something, a 50-50 event to happen once the golf has already started.
I see what you're saying. It obviously worked out. I don't see a reason to juice up an 80-1 number anyway. 80-1's fine with me. I saw people on the draft.
Well, I'm sure you play them single also.
What do you mean? Yeah, you're right. But I saw people on the DraftKings sportsbook. They had Bryson at 100-1.
Crazy.
I saw Punter got him at 98-1. So
that was like Betfair had some bigger numbers.
There were some good numbers out there for Bryson. But before we get into the recap of us winning and the Northern Trust and getting into the picks, you can always go to the description to find where the shortcuts are. Like you can click on it. People don't ever seem to realize that. No one ever reads the description. But there are time codes down there for where you want to skip to in the episode. But I have some winners from last week's draw, so you'll be getting your 20 DK dollars in like 6 to 8 months based on the way this is going lately. Trying to resolve everyone's problems. But the 2 winners from the Northern Trust are Tim Samside 10 and Yes We Cam.
There it is.
I think he had a picture of Cam Newton as his thing. So big on. Those are your 2 winners, 20 DK dollars for you. But there are some other fun giveaways like this episode. If you go to the comment section after giving the episode a like, leave your DK handle. And again, I want to know who you think is going to end up winning the FedEx Cup. Who's going to win that $10 million check by the end of it? Boom, you're in the draw. We'll announce the winners on next week's show. Also, over the weekend, I dropped a NFL DraftKings show, strategy show with Leone and Dinkmeyer. There's a giveaway in that for a free NFL Daily Roto package for the year. So go check that show out. You can listen to it. I would suggest that people watch that one because we highlight a lot of the tools that Daily Roto offers. Because I basically got Mike and Drew to, like I did with CJ for like Fantasy National, like what's your process to actually building lineups? I got Mike and Drew to walk me through. They're like, hey, it's Monday. What am I looking at? And they walk me through. It's like, oh, I look at this. This is where I look at this. This is how I build my lineups. This is how I adjust them. It was really cool. It helped me out a lot.
It is like the Fantasy National for football.
Yeah.
Or other sports, but for me, I focus on
football. I focus on football, too. I'm not playing much baseball. But yeah, it's $129. They're easy to get in the draw for the giveaway. Or if you use the promo code THEPME on dailyroto.com, you get yourself 10% off anyway. So I suggest everyone go do that. Plus, we had our win total shows. People love the win total shows.
That was a lot of fun.
I so rarely go back and listen to the shows because, I'm here when we're recording them and then I'm editing them with Paul. But I went back and listened to both those. They made me laugh.
Yeah, good.
Really a lack of information, more on the entertainment side. Hopefully our picks are good.
Of course.
All right. Bryson won. That's great news. I was hoping. It turns out the only way that Bryson can gag a big lead is if some guy I've never heard of is chasing him down in Germany. Other than that, he seems to be pretty good at closing.
McAvoy wasn't there. And oh my God. Last time we saw him was the 3-putt, right? That cost and a lot of people messaged like, I was just so angry. I couldn't pull the trigger on him. He was angrier than you were. He was angrier than you were.
All of that got baked into his price, and I think this is what we talked about. I don't want to rehash this too much, but people just don't like Bryson. They like him now because he just hit an 80-1 bet for them. But in general, he's like Patrick Reed. Like, there's a visceral reaction towards him. Some people really like him, but there's hate out there, and it hurts his number. Even this week, he's 45-1.
It still seems a little high,
Like,
especially if the pendulum is on.
Yeah, like, I don't think that he's going to win again this week. That'd be kind of crazy, going back-to-back in the playoffs against super strong fields. But it still seems like disrespect for that number.
I would agree with it, and I'll say this, Pat. We see a lot of times a guy is Sunday morning, the minus 160, 165. I still thought that was disrespectful because that was indicative of an 80-1 guy up by 4 with Keegan being the guy behind you. Like, what was Michael Kim's number on Sunday morning 3 weeks ago, a month ago?
With Molinari chasing him? But he was up by like 7, wasn't he?
I'm just saying, there's a lot of guys that don't get the respect pre-tournament, but once the tournament starts, if they're in that really strong position, like Bubba, I always like to...
Yeah, Bubba can go off at 80-1.
80-1, but once he gets in the lead, the books kind of price him live like he is an elite player. Bryson, to me, that 160 Sunday morning was still indicative of the guy who's 80-1 is up 4. Not the guy who does everything that you mention, and I piggyback off of reading your stats or as you just, with your beautiful graphics can point them out. And you clearly see how elite he is. And we did joke or kind of say, if someone was going to win this thing who isn't an elite player inside that 30-1 range, it's going to be a guy who still has like elite subsets and elite world ranking. Even though it came down to a lot of guys who weren't really in the elite category come Sunday morning.
Well, Dustin and Brooks were there the entire weekend. They just couldn't putt.
Well, Dustin Saturday. I mean, it's a thing. What's up with Dustin Saturdays?
I don't know. It's tough to say what's up with Dustin Saturdays. Guy has 3 wins this year.
He's got to lose the blue. I'm a Dustin fan, but this is a show done by guys who love golf, hardcore golf fans, and if you're watching this, you're a hardcore golf fan. So we look at things through different spectrums. That being said, well, I'll lament none of them are losers because they're all got tour cards, especially if they're playing this card. There's no such thing as a loser in this field. And I'm not calling Dustin Johnson a loser, not even going there. But his wins are like Fossey.
You got the Tour Championship, he's got St. Jude, and he's got the Canadian Open.
Oh, he still can make it. And this was great because before the PGA Championship, I was happened to be watching Golf Channel at the moment where he was doing his interview. And someone asked him, can you still have a successful year without winning a major? And Dustin laughed, which he's right. I've won 3 times. You can't take that away from him.
Yeah, he's cashed $3 million
He's
paydays.
I won 3 times. There's still the FedEx Cup. There's still the Ryder Cup. So it's ridiculous to say I couldn't have a good year. But I'm just saying, I'm not trying to take away, but he doesn't, Bryson won Memorial and a FedEx Cup event. That's triple points. I'm not talking about FedEx points, real life man points over Memphis and Canada.
Yeah, those are 2 real fields that he beat.
Insane
both those
fields.
weeks.
Full fields.
I mean, Brooks is the player of the year.
Yeah, I'm not having that argument.
But would you take Bryson's 2 wins over Bubba's 2 wins? Because I feel like Bubba's 2 wins are 3 wins. Sorry.
Riviera, WGC, and Travelers. Those are no.
So Bubba's year is still better.
Still better. I'm not. Oh, I didn't want to turn this in, and I can't believe I just used this as a shot to Dustin. But his Saturdays in big full fields, just embarrassing, man.
You know who came inside the top 10? I don't recall seeing him take a single shot the entire weekend. Justin Thomas, just tied for 8th.
Yeah, plodded
there.
Along. Yeah.
Do you have any interest in those guys that kind of... the Hostler thing was just awful, by the way. Because we had the Bryson number, but we both had that Hostler number, too. And I had 50-1 for the T5. And then double OB off the first tee. Sundays for Hostler, just find head-to-heads and just bet the other side.
Yeah, except the Houston one where he
sure. So it happened once out of 10 times.
I know. That was really frustrating, and I'm not going to lie. I was really encouraged to what that group could do because him and Spieth, they played Thursday, Friday. They share a coach. They're both Longhorns. I thought that was the perfect group for both of them, and didn't happen that way. Spieth's still a bit of enigma in his rounds.
Well, he had that tap in at the end of the second round. that
The big joke is because I think he's like 29th in FedEx Cup. Is when we go back when he comes like 31st, and the tap-in costs him a spot in the Tour Championship.
in fairness, he got his putter roll. He had a very poor front nine on Sunday, but he got it rolling again on the back. So he can't put together 4 rounds.
Yeah.
He can't even put together a round at this point. Like he's not playing.
Saturday was a great round.
Yeah, sorry. 7 under.
But yeah,
on
no,
Saturday.
I'm not here to defend him. I picked him last week. I was kind of feeling
Like what happened with
decent. He just
Day hit the wall and then he was gone.
he was right there with Justin Thomas because they played together Sunday, and he kind of
He petered away,
yeah,
and Thomas just kept making
made a
birdies.
couple on the scoring back 9 hole as well. Day didn't. I want to. Okay, CBS on Sunday when Bryson's up 4, or even when things aren't stressful in my heart, they try to like create this fake drama that it's like closer than it is. And I get it; it's the telecast job, the announcer's job to do that. But there was a 12-minute window where the drama was actually felt real. Wise was got 5.5 feet to get to 14. Bryson had a par putt. Bryson's in trouble. He's in that stretch of the golf course where you can make doubles and triples.
But
in
you
that
can also,
stretch.
and everyone else is making birdies, and it comes back together really quickly.
Yeah, well, Wise, was sort of playing 12, 13, where his number was getting up, and we hadn't gotten there yet. But still, there was 12 minutes in what was a relatively stress-free day. There was a 12-minute window where things were actually stressful. Not fake drama like when they tried to create it.
When they were like, well, if Tony Finau goes birdie, eagle, birdie to end this and Bryson bogeys, we got a contest.
Yeah, there was a period of real drama, at least for all of us with the 80-1s, that didn't want to have to hedge anything. And they're interviewing the FedEx guy. And I get it. That has to happen. They pay big money. But you gotta, no, you can move that. Bryson's in a bunker. He almost holes out. There was moments where, it could slip. And then because it's Bryson, you're, almost no, it can slip. And even though he played great, and his only bogeys were
The 3 putts.
3 putts where he had 50-foot birdie putts, and he just didn't.
He left them way short. He left them 10 feet short on both of them.
The par 4 one was about 9 feet, and then the other one was about 7, and he almost whatever. But I'm just saying, it wasn't trouble on 8 where he had to scramble. It was amazing. When he was in the bunker on 11, he almost hold it. But still, there was that window. It was 10 minutes of real drama.
I will say, as someone who's backed Tony Finau a lot in my life, and having nothing on him this week, when he was trying to chase down Bryson, he was in peak Finau form of just couldn't make a putt.
Yeah.
On 20 feet every single time, and just not necessarily burning edges, but just by missing by 6 inches every time. And the only one he actually puts in is a chip in from off the green. He played well, though.
Yeah, played well again.
Cam Smith played pretty well. He putted the lights out, though.
So
I wouldn't get too high and mighty with Cam Smith. But anyone who said, because I was off of this, and I believe it was Bergerson who said it on the DraftKings show, that he was really looking at Riviera as a comp course. And, I mean, who did we bet at Riviera? We bet Finau and Cam Smith. And Cantlay. And who were the guys up there this weekend? It was all those guys. And that week at Riviera, Bryson played really well, finished with -7 strokes putting.
And even your early week projection of a potential Honda, Lovemark ran Honda pretty well early this year.
Love
300 feet of putts.
Yeah, through
2 days.
Through 2 rounds, he had gained 9.5 strokes putting.
It was so funny. Friday ends, he's in great shape. But whoever it is, Balionis, or it's not Balionis on Friday. It's Sands, probably, from Golf Channel. If you're watching on a Friday. Doing the post rounds, tells him the exact number. And you just saw this look of defeat in Lovemark's eyes. Even though he's -10, he's in the lead. You could just oh my, he knew he was screwed.
Yeah.
I got no, oh my God,
So, guys to watch out for, do you think they have a realistic shot to keep any of this momentum going? Ryan Palmer has played TPC Boston really well in the past. He's
a streaky player.
He's made a nice run on Sunday. Billy Ho just keeps playing well, and this is high time for Billy Ho season.
At 50 to, what is he, 50?
He's 50, yeah. He's getting priced up.
He's one of a few guys whose odds fell a bit. I was excited for him Are we getting into this?
No,
Or
not
you
yet.
do-
Not yet.
Yeah,
Nick
okay,
Watney was another one who made a bit of a run.
Always good to see. I like seeing
He's
him.
looking yoked,
I
by the
just-
way. He looks like he's in great shape.
I'm happy I'm happy to see him
Back.
hanging around, still playing, keeping it going. This
And-
might be a homer for him. And Keegan, this will be a homer for
Well,
Boston.
Keegan was the guy.
Patriots.
Well, there's two guys I wanted to end
Red
with.
Sox.
Keegan was one of them. And like, what are you doing? What are you doing, Keegan? Was he like, oh, I guess I'm through to next week. I'll just take Sunday off. Like, that was embarrassing.
Okay.
Raza had Keegan, and I think Tambo had him too in the
And the guy, and
DraftKings.
someone else messaged us. I forget. Great. Like someone showed us like he was up Saturday night in the 100 winning.
Yeah,
100K.
win 100K. He actually had a really good week too, though. But
He had
didn't-
Keegan.
Yeah, he didn't
killed
win
a lot of
100K.
people. No.
But I think that Keegan scored like negative 15 DraftKings points on the front nine.
Okay. The full.
Like
Can we
that was full Keegan.
Yeah. Okay.
62 to I think 42.
No, because by official definition, full Keegan is when he's like
First round leader
first
and
round
misses
leader
the cut.
and misses the cut. That's going full Keegan. But when you go off in the final group on Sunday and shoot what he shot, that's like full Keegan asterisks.
He was off TV after 3 holes. We didn't see him again until 18 when he was tapping in his putt.
And I know Kenny was big on this. Kim, our boy, a lot of people were. Credit to Bryson, because just for like hanging in there. Well, Keegan's going like AWOL.
And the thing is, the approaches weren't all that bad. He could not hit a tee shot. It was ridiculous. For someone who's like good off the tee, and that's like the one thing he can consistently do, he just lost it.
Well, even the broadcast said, because you always like quiz me or these like on the fly quizzes. Who has like 300-yard driving averages, accuracy, yada yada.
And Keegan's-
It's all these like elite players. Oh, and Keegan. But he's like 140th in the world in putting, and you never really kind of expect that to change. And the only thing I like him for is his Jordan shoes.
And he has a home game this week. The other one I wanted to mention, I guess Adam Scott lingered around too. That was nice to see. He just plays that course really well. Another Riviera guy, by the way. Just consistently, he's won at Riviera, consistently plays well there. But Brooks, I was surprised Brooks didn't do more damage on the weekend. I really thought
He was missing like 6-footers.
he was. Like, he putted awfully. Like, really, really poorly. And the other guy who putted really, really poorly and was just lights out on his approaches and ball striking was Tiger. Tiger couldn't putt.
Do you want to go there?
Well, I mean, let's get into the course. So TPC Boston, it's a par 71 again. We know this course. It's off the rotation starting next year. Then it's back in 2020 because they're condensing the playoffs to 3 events. And this is going to be a part of the Northern Trust moving forward. Dell has lost their sponsorship. I believe it'll only be the match play now. But 7,342 yards, 30 yards longer than last week. We've seen elite guys win here over the years. So stats that I'm looking at, approach is really key. My column's up on DK Playbook right now, and I have some like numbers in there like pointing to how people have performed with their irons. A lot of long irons this week. Par 5 scoring is going to be really big, but former winners here. VJ's won twice, Tiger's won, Phil's won, Rory's won twice, Ricky's won, Justin Thomas won last year, Stenson has won, Scott has won, and Chris Kirk has won.
Yeah.
And so is Charlie Hoffman and Webb Simpson. So pretty good guys. And it was Jeff Ulrich who pointed this out, and I started like looking at the cross. Guys that have done well at the Players' Championship at TPC Sawgrass tend to play well here. There's a lot of crossover winners.
Okay. Again, I sort of feel like if someone with a big odd is going to win, it's going to be somebody
Who's actually good.
Yeah, who's actually good.
So like Luke List. Not Luke List.
Although, I'll tell you...
Luke had it going. He had it to 8 under at one point on Saturday, and then it was just... couldn't make, he started missing like 2-foot putts. It was very vintage Luke List stuff. But let's get into the odds then. Because there's a guy that I want to ask you about, because I just have no idea. So Dustin comes in at 8-1. Justin Thomas, the defending champion, is 10-1. Brooks is 12, Day's 14, Rory's 16, Tiger's 20, Spieth is 22, so is Rahm, and the last two, Rose is 25, Scott is 28, and so is Finau. He's 28. Justin Rose fits this course perfectly, I think, like with what his skill set is. He scores on par 5s. He's a pretty decent putter historically, and he's really good with these long irons. And everyone pointed to last week, he was very highly owned on DraftKings. He missed the cut. He lost like 7 strokes putting through 2 rounds. Like that's
When did he finish?
egregious. He missed the cut.
Is that his worst finish of the year?
Yeah, I believe so.
Because he's been just
But people pointed to the injury. It's like, oh, Rose is still hurt. Rose is still hurt. Like, how come the rest of his game looks like Justin Rose, but the guy can't make a 5-foot putt anymore? Is that the injury? I just think in this field, if you're trying to find value, maybe he is hurt, and maybe the putting doesn't come back. But ball striking wise, he seems fine. 25-1 is just, I'm betting it. It's too low.
Okay, and I can see that. It doesn't seem like we've. So people complain to me or us, I think, sometimes on the video comments. How come you're not talking about Justin Rose? And my response to that is literally every time, unless one of us are betting Justin Rose, there's absolutely nothing to say. He's as consistent as the sun coming up tomorrow. His missed cut last week is like kind of, it's the only time this year feels like he didn't play very well, so you're getting a boost in points. I'm staring at Tiger, Pat.
I'm staring at Tiger too. I don't like that 20 number though.
Okay. Do I wish it was higher? Yes.
I do.
But I'll say this. I saw a lot of things I like statistically, and I don't want to be in the same position. I didn't bet him last week, but I didn't want to be in the same position like after Bridgestone. We're all like down on him because the scoring sort of didn't happen, or I didn't feel it was a good enough week, and he sort of popped the next week. I've seen a lot of things sort of really still there that I like.
Yeah, oh, me too. Listen, I think Tiger played great this week. He just legit could not putt, which, again, is very atypical for Tiger. And he continued to go around. Like, I think, did he play the final 2 rounds without a bogey? Or did he eventually make one on Sunday?
He made a bogey on Sunday. I think maybe the last or one of the last holes.
Either way, when it comes to to the approach game, like he was,
Sunday.
I mean, his irons were on all week. He's going to have to hit driver a lot here, and I don't think it's going to be that big of a problem. People do hit a lot of fairways here, 5% higher than tour average, 65% driving accuracy to like 60% at your average course. I think it does set up really well for him, but if you're going to ask me to bet Tiger at 20, I know Rose is kind of stumbling right now, but Rose's game fits this course better, and, I mean, Rose is probably still better than Tiger is right now. And I get 5 extra points.
Sure.
Like, why? What's the difference between taking? You just want to bet Tiger because you think he's going to win, right?
Well,
or is it you don't want to miss Tiger winning?
Well, I guess that's all part of it, but
if Tiger wins, I'm going to be happy.
I agree. The number is good for Rose, but
like, why does Tiger have a better chance of winning this week than Spieth does at 22? Spieth was second here last year.
He doesn't, and I picked Jordan to win last week, so maybe I'm tempted to go back there, but I don't know. I'm feeling like I'm not trying to get value. I'm trying to call the win.
Yeah, listen, and if you think that Tiger is going to win, but does Tiger have a better chance of winning than Rory does? Rory's won here twice. He just took the week off, got himself right.
I don't know what to make of Rory. I mean, there's 2 arguments to this from even people that have played. Like, should he have just getting yourself right, like staying home practicing as opposed to still going out there and competing? He obviously wasn't feeling good enough to put a tee in the ground last week. Wouldn't shock me if Rory just came back and won. But what's his number? 16. Okay. It's fair. I'm still... So
you're betting Tiger this week?
I haven't made that decision, but in this top, I lean to Tiger.
I'm curious to see what happens to that Rose number. I'm going to wait. I might shoot myself in the foot with this if people do bet him because the number's too low, like what happened to me with Justin Thomas at Bridgestone, where he opened at 30 for some reason. And then by the end of it, he was like 16. But everyone got that 30 number. I missed it by not jumping on it right away. I just don't feel like there's any, like, people aren't like gung-ho to bet Justin Rose anymore. Like, they're worried about him.
I 100% agree.
And since
there was a time where he was stapled in
14-1 in this.
Yeah, he was like the 3rd guy on the, like, consistently in that 16-1 because he was so consistent in where he was finishing.
So the guys that have risen up, Scott and Finau, both 28-1, seems high. I mean, it seems high for both of them. They're both playing well, obviously. Finau just had a solo second. Scott had a great weekend, got himself into like the top 30 in the FedEx Cup points, which is great. And he has a great track record at this course over the years, but it just seems like a lot of short odds. Like, considering if we just, like, to bet Bryson, you can get 45, but to bet Adam Scott, you get 28. Doesn't that seem strange?
Not for me. And I'll say this about Finau, like you alluded to earlier in the show. We've both lost a lot of money betting on Tony Finau. all sorts of price ranges from when he was still not the most popular public player on tour, the 80s and the 100s, to when he's, mid-levels in that 50 range, to even at crappy fields when he's like 22. Still didn't win any of them.
He can't putt.
I am borderline away from calling him Big Ricky.
He's Ricky with gigantism?
Well, I just mean like going to the PGA Championship. I love Tony Finau, but we do this thing. Once you cross under that 30 number, you get scrutinized in a different way. It's a different expectation, and he doesn't win. There's a lot of ways to make money on Tony Finau. It doesn't mean you can't make money on him. My buddy had Bryson for the outright at a Tony Finau each way.
And there you go.
Boom! Like there's a lot of ways to make good money on Tony Finau that doesn't involve winning the golf tournament. But at 28-1, I mean, he was the most taken ticket player in Vegas for according to Golf Odds for the PGA Championship.
People just want it to happen more than it's really going to happen.
So is he not Big Ricky?
He is. Well, I mean, he hasn't gone down to like 18-1 yet, but...
Okay, but Ricky's won like a Players and a FedEx Cup event.
Sure, and this was the event that Ricky won.
Yeah, and I'm not saying Finau won't be there, but everyone, he's the most...
Let me ask you this. Are you good with missing it at 28 if it happens?
Yeah.
Yeah, so am I.
100%. And listen, that being said, I got nothing against ride or die Finau, till the end. That's a lifestyle, go for it. Go for it. The guy competes every single week. And like I said, there's lots of ways you can make money betting on Tony Finau. But his only win is we're holding off Steve Marino in a subfield.
It's going to happen, and people will want to be there because they're so invested in it. I just don't like the... Considering, if we go to the middle range, right? The guys after him, you got Cantlay at 30, Stenson at 33, Hideki at 35, Fleetwood at 33, Reed at 35, Webb at 45, Bryson at 45.
Exactly.
Those are just better numbers.
Name each player again.
Okay, so you have Fleetwood at 33.
Race to Dubai winner.
Yes. Stenson, 33.
Open champion.
Won this tournament, has won the FedEx Cup.
Champion.
Hideki, 35.
Really great golfer.
Well, he has a bunch of wins.
Yeah, I don't know what's his biggest win though. The Memorial?
Bridgestone, Memorial.
Either way.
He has WGC wins. He wins Phoenix every year.
Huge full field wins, okay?
Webb just won the Players. Has won this tournament before too.
Has a placing record this year almost as good as Finau's.
Agreed.
In those majors.
Bryson, 2 wins this year.
3 under the age of 25.
Cantlay is the only one with comparably weird odds. But people also just like betting Patrick Cantlay.
Yeah.
I worry about him on the, it's back-to-back weeks for Cantlay now.
It's always kind of a concern, but he seems to pick it, he seems to be very smart with that. And then going farther, Patrick Reed, Masters champion. And has all those,
He has 7 wins.
Again, I don't oh my God, I feel ridiculous needing to find holes in Tony Finau. But we're doing an outright winners show right now.
Yes.
Win. I'd love to see him win. I'll be happy for him.
It's going to be
in a different way than Tiger, but I'll be so happy. But it's going to be like
Tiger for me, that I like both the players. I like Tiger. I like Finau. If they win and I haven't bet on them, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. I'm going to be happy either way. I like these guys.
It's like the joke we make about Fleetwood. There's who doesn't like Finau? Either like Finau or you love Finau. He's incredibly likable. I think he finishes behind Spieth on the nicest guys list on Golf Digest.
Yet everyone hates Spieth, which is funny.
Or maybe not, whatever. You have Ted Scott on Twitter, campaigning for him. We want him on the Ryder Cup. He's great in the room. His caddy's a great guy, too.
That's
over.
Bryson and Finau lock that up.
It's over.
With Tiger and
Xander would have to win this week, and then you could have the conversation.
Or Cantlay has to win this week.
I'm just saying, Xander winning, which I think is pretty much what he would have to do. Then you put some stress on Furyk, because if you're Xander, you're I've won 3 freaking times. I've won 2 FedEx Cup events. He's won nothing! That being said, to me, Tony Finau's on the team, and I love Tony Finau.
Let me ask you this then, and we're not down at his number yet. Tony Finau, and I know that Xander's not playing great. Xander's 90-1 this week.
My buddy mentioned that because I was telling him I don't want to nail the coffin yet, just because Xander was.
Xander's crap, then he pops. Like he's becoming one of those Martin Keimer-esque players that you just bet him because he wins so often, but you have to deal with the fact that he sucks some weeks.
And I know there's the complete love affair with Finau, and like I've said already, he would be on my Ryder Cup team. But out of respect for Xander, when the points became officially done, he was the fourth guy. It was the four guys out in order were Bryson, Tiger, Phil, Xander. So I'm not willing to say, like, he can still play this week and he can still win. And then to me, he puts pressure on Jim Furyk. And he's a big game. I expect him to show up this weekend at 90-1.
It's a good
number.
number.
A great T20 bet or something.
He might be a good outright bet.
Good outright bet. But I also mean, like, he knows. There's no secret to him about what's probably at stake and what he would need to do. And he's a San Diego kid. So I have full confidence that he's going to have a strong week. So even if you're not there on the outright at 90-1, there could be some other ways to make money on him.
This is true. And especially if he ends up getting paired with, like, if Keegan's 100 and Xander's 90, people are going to love Keegan this week. He's from the area, Jeff. So he has to play well.
I've bet Keegan here before because he's from the area.
How'd that work out?
Probably horrible, but I'm not there.
But you might get minus 110. On Xander versus Keegan.
Oh, on a tournament match.
Yeah, on a tournament matchup.
Oh.
You know what I mean? And it might not win, obviously, but
no,
the talent gap between the two is gigantic. Like when you start thinking about it that way. Or like, people are going to like Charlie Hoffman this week. I'm not actually quite opposed to that. I think he's not bad. But like you get Xander versus Berger, that kind of thing. Maybe Xander versus Rafa. Xander versus Noren. Noren just seems to be checked out for the moment. He's on the team, the Ryder Cup team.
Yeah, he got locked in. Big up, but I will say this with Noren. He always got a shot because one of my books is him in the 90s. I think it's this one.
Yeah.
And one of them's got him at 66. So still number there. And at night, I don't know, 90-1.
Back to that middle range. Do any of those guys do it for you? The Stenson, Fleetwood, Casey?
I said we're watching out for Hideki.
I'm betting Hideki. I'm in. Back to back.
Time?
It's
good?
The approach was off the charts again last week.
Let's go.
We're in 35?
Yeah. I was worried, especially after I was worried Thursday that
we had missed it?
We missed it. Because we thought we're watching now, but it's time.
I'm getting sick and tired of people making these like bold proclamations on Thursday about guys they picked to win. I'm sick of it.
Firstly.
Just like, I can't believe I missed out on Paul Casey. It's like, he's 4 under through 16 holes. Great.
I won't even look at a leaderboard on Thursday till afternoon.
The only thing I'm concerned about on a Thursday are my first round leader bets, which is priority, and are my guys blowing up? If not, it's fine.
But I just mean, like, not even talking about Twitter. Like, for myself, like, if I'm looking at the leaderboard at, like, 8:45, like, on my way to getting stuff done, I would be a mess. Because then it's, like, all day. Like, I don't like looking till later in the day because there's nothing I can do about it. I'm certainly not making a live bet on a Thursday.
You're not going to pull the Drew Livingston special? Oh, no. Kim's winning. I'm going to bet him at 8-1.
But that's the thing. Like, being in that environment in the old job, like, you know, leaderboard, like, getting to work, you kind of got to see the leader.
Yeah. We might be talking about it on air later that day.
Yeah, it's, like, different when you don't have to, like, be in that, like, newsroom where I just don't have to look at Twitter or open my PGA app, and then I get to scroll from the bottom, go all the way to the top, and every name you
that's
pass.
That's all I really do. I scroll to the bottom and see who is currently blowing up. Okay, none of my guys, perfect.
And then I go to the top. But I'll say this. I don't know what's worse. Thursday morning Twitter, which I'm never involved in, or Saturday night Twitter, which is like calling a tournament also, but like in a different way.
Well, it's just tough. Like, so much shit can happen in between. Like, even, like, going into Sunday with Bryson, with a 4-stroke lead, and I'm looking at the guys that were chasing him, like, I was concerned about Brooks. Like,
There's a lot of names.
If Brooks gets hot, this could be dicey. But, like, I didn't think Cam Smith was going to catch up to him.
And
I didn't expect Aaron Wise to be the one to make the run. But then Aaron Wise didn't when bogey.
I just thought there were too many guys, and even in the 8 range, you had Day and Thomas too. Like,
but as long as Bryson did what he did and shoot like 1 under, he was going to be fine.
He didn't even have to shoot even par. And in the morning, I was worried that even par wasn't going to do it. In the end, it did. And if he was, thank God he had a couple because it makes it more relaxing.
But that's a 4-stroke. Like, how many people have blown 4-stroke leads this year? I think it's only Paul Casey at the Travelers. And Bubba came back and caught him.
Beauty.
And maybe I think that's it.
Yeah, no, the PGA Tour, the European Sundays have been very entertaining for comebacks and exciting Sundays. The PGA Sundays have been quite boring.
For the most part, yeah. So, I like Hideki.
Yeah, so back to Hideki. It's there. And everyone was really excited about the 40s last week. 35, seeing another week at form, feels just as good, if not better. Because I'm seeing it and I'm ready to move in.
Here's the thing. 3 straight events gaining strokes off the tee. 2 straight events of gaining over 7 strokes on the field through approaches. Guy can't chip anymore, which is really bizarre. Because at one point in time, he was awesome at his around the green work. But, I don't know, it seems like it's coming, and this is a course where around the green doesn't really matter all that much.
I'm excited. Like I said, we were on full eyes last week, and
I did take the pass on it last week, though.
No, but he was on the watch list.
Yeah, and people jumped on him, and they were probably not happy with how it turned out. But I think this week...
there's a Saturday crater. One day he cratered, right? I think Friday cratered. He flirted with the cut.
Did he? I didn't have him, so I wasn't paying close attention.
He might have, but yeah, no, I'm excited to go back there.
I would almost want to be on Stenson, but that's an injury. Like, he pulled out last week. It's same as Snedeker. Like, he pulled out last week. Like, what's going on?
No interest.
And I liked Stenson last week.
Stenson was 50-1 last week, and now he's 33 off a withdraw.
This field is smaller.
By 25 guys who were never winning.
Sure, but it's still a smaller field. Your probability just goes up.
Not like that. He's dropped like he placed like Adam Scott. Although he should be ahead of that. Like, I'm just saying, what was Adam Scott last week? 50?
Yeah, I think they were around the same.
So now Scott dropped to 28, Stenson dropped to 23. One guy looks sharp, one guy's out with an injury.
So Stenson's also way better.
I agree, but you know,
Stenson's also getting the baked-in course history too.
Great point. Yeah, key. Fleetwood's also kind of enticing.
Yeah, I mean, what's Tommy just been like? You don't see much of him.
He went into Saturday ready to contend. I think at 7 or 8 under, and he just had a really crappy Saturday. And Sunday played all right.
Yeah, he made up a lot of his strokes around the green last week, which is strange for him. Like, the off the tee numbers were way down from where he had been. But listen to these. Here's like Tommy's last few goes at it: 20th, 35th, 14th, 6th, 12th, 2nd, 7th. He's having a good year.
This is my point, Pat. And he's like, at a peak, he's like 16-1 to win like the Open Championship. And he hasn't played bad, but he hasn't won. And his numbers go the other way. Well, it's not as sexy as like Finau, but Finau's not winning. He's not playing. He's playing well also. His final results are a little more sexier, but I don't know. I'd rather bet Fleetwood than Finau. I don't know about you.
I would too, and we're getting...
Finau's going to win. We're picking on him.
Yeah. It was after
I called him Big Ricky.
You called him Big Ricky, then you called Dustin a loser. So the two of them are going to be up there.
What am I doing?
Yeah, this is very off-brand.
No, Dustin, I want to see both of them win, though. Everyone knows how much I like both of them. Dustin, I'm just saying, I would be disappointed as a big Dustin fan in a 3-win season that are those wins. Even though I'm very proud of the Canada win. And I thought, between him and...
did you see the guy who got into the Twitter trouble for making fun of Brooke Henderson?
Well, what a guy, man.
That was hilarious.
Who says that? And tags a player.
It was a really odd choice for him. Like, what did he think?
And he's like from Canada, this guy.
Well, I don't care whether you're from Canada or not, because I don't really care that Brooke Henderson won. I
do.
I just don't care about the LPGA. But... I mean, great on her. It's awesome that she won. I think it was like the first time in like 60 years a Canadian has won the Canadian Open. But like, how does he not think that's going to backfire on him?
Yeah, it's Twitter.
It is Twitter. Like, it was mind-boggling. Yeah. And then have the gall to delete it and be like, it was a momentary lapse of bad judgment. At least own it if you're going to play that and you have like it's your temperament to tweet at players and say crap like that. Own it. Just be that guy.
Well, great for her. And between her and Dustin winning our national opens, I couldn't think of two better national champions.
In terms of strokes gained approach last week, if you had to guess, I have the top 10 in front of me. Give me some players who were inside that top 10.
Bryson.
Bryson was 10th.
Brooks.
Brooks, no.
Billy Ho.
Billy Ho, no.
Scott.
No.
Okay.
Hideki number 1 by a long shot, by over a stroke and a half over Keegan. So it was Hideki, Keegan, Tiger, Cam Smith, Hatton, Kazire, Dustin Johnson, Ryan Palmer, Bronson Burgoon, who I believe finished second for the week in birdies, Nick Watney, Spieth, Bryson.
God damn it, Jordan.
Also, I'm not overlooking Stuart Sink this week either. He had one bad round where he lost like 9 strokes. By
He's really going to do this to me, this guy.
Spieth. So anyone else before we get to like the next range, the long shots?
How long is the long
We'll
shots?
go 50 and above because
I'm done here, unless you have something to say about Patrick Reed.
no, he has 3 straight top 10s at this event at this course.
His odds got chopped 20 points. I guess that's because of that.
Yeah,
And
and the field is smaller.
field, even though 25 guys have no chance.
Long shots then. So when we get into this 50 range, it's like Phil, Billy Ho, Leishman, then it's like Casey, Louis. Louis had a good week. Snedeker, Hatton. I think I'm going to get back on Hatton. Woodland, Wise, Bubba, Zach Johnson, who's never missed a cut here, which I found really surprising. But he never has like a good finish either. Kuchar, Na, Poulter, Noren. Then we're into like the Xanders, the Rafas, Kyle Stanley. So there's really only 1 guy, 2 guys, 3 guys.
I'm just interested in Hatton. I told you before the show he's 60-1. It's the
And he
only
bought a new
guy-
putter, and he switched his game
I
around.
mean, we talked highly of him last week. He fits the profile like Bryson in a way. A guy
He-
back there, if someone to me is going to win who isn't under that like 25-1, it's going to be someone with some real worldwide cachet. At least there'll be another metric out there that tells me this guy's elite. And for that, I'll steal the sloppy world rankings, which we know are kind of floppy, but I'll use them to my argument this time. Great Sunday, new putter. He's a fantastic putter to begin with. My question there is, and pardon my ignorance, are there not like equipment trucks? Could he not walk into the Ping truck
I don't know.
and be like, I need
'Cause
something?
I was hearing stories about this at the
Like, he's gotta
Open
go to
Championship too. That like Poulter just like walked into some shop that was like around Carnoustie and like bought a wedge. That's what he used.
That's what happens.
Like, all right.
Like, is it a ping pong? I don't know. So good for him. $170 made him a lot of money yesterday. when
Hey,
was
he
7
got his
or
money
8
back, yeah.
7 or 8 under. Yeah, no, I'm in. I was kind of buying in last week. So how could I get off? I want to be on there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to play that with.
And
each
I'm not
way.
going to lie, Pat.
I'm not going to pass on the Xander number either. I'm going to play the 90. It's too low.
100%.
And that means I'm overlooking guys like Keegan Bradley, for example.
Who cares?
But like Charlie Hoffman, I think he's won this tournament before. I think that he's live. But these guys are just better DraftKings plays, at least in my mind, than actual like outright wins.
I'm kind of done.
Because there's one guy I really, really, really like who's 140.
Yeah, you tweeted it.
I did. I like Ben An.
He can show up.
He was 5th tee to green last week. He lost over 7 strokes putting.
Well, that's what he does. He's better than Luke List.
I agree. Like, so in the last 3 tournaments, he lost 9 strokes at Bridgestone putting. Then he was like field average at the PGA Championship. And then he lost over 7 last week. So, I mean, if he can just not lose a bunch of strokes, yeah, the 140 is probably out of the question to actually win, but you get the each way in there. Now that each way is paying like 40-ish or 37-1, maybe a top 10 bet, something like that. The ball striking is there, and this is a ball striking course. So, and the greens are super fast here as well, and that some guys just prefer putting on fast greens. Like Rory, for example, loves putting on fast greens.
Tiger
loves putting on fast greens.
Okay.
And I also bet less than Siwoo. Oh, and Chris Kirk at 200. Why? Like I get Billy.
Okay.
I get
Yeah.
Billy Ho's playing better. He's 50. Chris Kirk's won this tournament before, and it's
Sure.
200-1. And it's
Yeah.
not like he's playing poorly.
Okay.
So those are just some shots, but that's really and the Sink top 20 I think makes some sense. Sink finished top 20 here last year. He was the only player inside the top 20 who lost strokes putting. He led the field in strokes gained approach. He led the field tee to green at the PGA Championship. He had one bad round. Everyone hates his guts. I'm willing to give him a pass on that because he came back the next day and fired like 4 under. He didn't have to. He was +7 after the first round.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Spieth or Fleetwood?
Fleetwood. I'll take the extra 11 points.
And at least Fleetwood gives us 3 rounds.
Yeah. Even number rounds have been very good for Tommy. The odd number rounds are not so hot anymore.
Fleetwood. That stat, though, Spieth was right there. It scares me, and I bet him last week. Okay.
And it's a better number this week.
It's kind of the same. At least Will
How about
Hill
this?
had the
Strokes
22
gained
last
putting
week.
past 50 rounds on Per Fantasy National. Strokes gained putting on fast or lightning fast greens. Kuchar, Webb, Brooks, Xander, Noren, Louis, Hostler, Snedeker, Putnam, Reavie, Austin Cook are your top 10. What's Kisner's number?
What's Hostler's number?
No, stupid Hostler. I don't even see his number.
Did he even make it? Yeah, he has to be here.
Yeah, I didn't write it down. I assume it's like 200 to 1 again. I don't see how it would have got better. Where's Kisner?
Field smaller.
Where is? Do you see Kisner on here?
He's in the part
Oh,
where
here
the
we are.
printer's crappy. He's 110.
110. I might be in on that too. He was garbage last week, but it's one of those.
Noren at 90 doesn't make you like.
Yeah, Noren.
Like in that Xander
I played the Noren card. I didn't play it last week, but I took him on DraftKings. I thought he just screwed me.
I know, and it feels like he might have hit a wall for his season. But you mentioned how these greens work for him, and much like Xander, like I don't know, the guy can just freaking pop and be fire.
Here's the problem with
And
Noren.
you'd rather him than Xander?
Here's the
Or
problem.
the other
Yeah,
way?
I'd rather Xander, but like Bridgestone minus
Been
6
bad.
strokes gained
It's been
approach.
bad. It's been bad.
PGA minus 2 strokes gained approach. Last week in 2 rounds, minus
Horrible.
4.5. And like, he's putting all right.
It's
The
been
putting's
bad.
not the
It's been
problem.
bad.
He
It's
can't
been
hit an
bad.
iron anymore. So that worries me.
Because I bet him last week, and people are starting to like pick on me.
You're getting bullied for your Alexander Noren.
Well,
lock?
like, is there actually logic to this pick Feinberg, or are you just betting Noren?
I mean, if you wanted to make the case,
Because he was what 75 or something last
and
week.
I took Hatton, and Hatton didn't do anything till Sunday. So I'm willing to get back in on Hatton. I'll be on Xander, Ben on List Siwoo, because always, all with the top 5 each ways. So Kokrak 250, any love?
No,
Duffner 225. He's the bubble boy, by the way.
100. Yeah.
Uh,
Okay, so what does he need to? Is there a way other than winning or coming top like 5? For
Yeah,
him
if
to move
Duffner
on?
comes like 15th, he'll probably get through.
Really?
Yeah.
See Sam Ryder yesterday.
Poor Sam Ryder. Spieth screwed him.
I really I can't stand the FedEx Cup nonsense.
I
in,
like it. I like when they're just like...
No,
it's
sorry, in March and April and that. But I really like this.
Yeah, I like the
I
live
like
projection.
this.
Here's where he's moved up to.
Yeah, that circle graphic with suspense. Did he do enough? Oh, 102. It's like Price is Right or something. You're waiting for his fresh projection. I can't stand it when they do it in like March, but I got no issues. No, it's obviously exciting.
You know what we didn't mention? This tournament doesn't start till Friday,
Yeah.
if people didn't know that.
And here we are on a Monday. More time for numbers to move. More time for Golf Twitter to change your mind. More time for lineups to be adjusted.
Yeah, and more
More time
information to
listen,
come out.
More time to listen to the show.
So here's what we're going to do. We'll make our quick picks right now, and we're not going to have to be full. My cheat sheet will come out Thursday afternoon. And you can find out, like, because I think I might play some top 20s because it's the shrunken field. And the numbers on, like, Kokrak and, like, JB Holmes and Chris Kirk, they're really high. And Stuart Sink, that I think the top 20 might be the move with those guys instead of betting them outright. Although I already bet Kirk outright at 200 to 1. But, yeah. So quick picks for me. Rose, Hideki, Hatton, Xander. Ben on.
This will not be quick because I have an idea.
Okay.
Tiger Woods,
Okay.
3.0. What a marvelous human being. When the year is over, Pat, the entire tour, the Players Association, whatever that is, everyone should send in their pictures with Tiger, their family pictures that get taken on like Saturdays and Sundays, because it's a dream for all these guys.
Austin,
the players,
Austin
the caddies.
Cook was so excited to play
But
the
they
round
all
with
are.
Tiger.
You saw Landry, you see Buddy, Sam Burke, like everyone. And it's not just them. It's like them, the families, the girlfriends. It's like such a great thing. And he's smiling and happy. And everyone should send in their pictures and send Tiger like a book. Because every week, it really melts me. He takes the time with all these guys and their families, and he's the reason they all care and play. And I love it. I love it. I look for it. I don't look for it, but it shows up on the feed every weekend. It's special. Quick picks. On that note, Tiger freaking Woods. It's time. It's time. Hideki Matsuyama, Tommy Fleetwood, Tyrrell Hatton.
Xander. Bet Xander.
Xander.
That's what we're going to do. We're going to hit an 80-1 last week. We'll hit a 90-1 this week.
What happens if he wins?
You know what?
Does he get Finau's if he wins?
Yes, I think he does. If he wins, I think he gets Finau's spot.
You'd have to. Could you know? Wow. Because right now, Furyk's like, feet are up. Like, this is chill. This is easy. This is done. He's got a stress-free thing. Unless Xander
Well, let me
wins.
throw this scenario at you. What if Luke List wins? Is he on the team?
Stop it.
Could you pair him up with, like, and all of a sudden they just rejig the entire thing? It's like, yeah, we'll take Luke List, but we'll also take Steve Stricker. Steve is like, you can take them as a combined player. We'll get Luke to get you to the green, and we'll get Stricker to putt. That should be an option for Ryder Cup as well. Designated putters.
I got no comment on Luke List. It will be fine. Xander is going to be around this weekend.
Or he's going to be dead last.
Drama, yeah, there's going to be some.
What an awesome. Imagine if the final four, like the final groupings, it's like Finau and Xander, then like Cantlay and who's like one other guy who could plausibly make the team.
Kuchar.
I
With
guess
a win.
Yeah, I guess it would be Kuchar.
Kuchar
Or
is
Furyk.
Kuchar is going to take Tiger's assistant captain spot.
Yeah,
Assuming he wants it.
bring him along. He's a team
Because
player.
Furyk has indicated he wants to fill that. And Furyk, although the only thing I guess it would be up to Kuchar. He's got a family, maybe.
And
he'd
you know he
rather
loves
have
the
time
money.
off.
Is there some sort of like dinky challenge tour event he can go enter in France that same week so he can win like $7,000?
Good point. I don't know. And Ricky's injury could be serious.
I think we'll see Ricky next week.
Yeah, I hope so. We kind of called this last week.
Yeah.
And he's still got the points. I think he's 22 in points.
Yeah,
so he makes it automatically.
He's through to next week automatically. He will need to play to get through to the Tour Championship, though. Because he'll drop enough that he'll be outside.
Yeah, of course, with the double or point and a halves.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll definitely top.
It's 4 times the points.
Oh, so without playing this week, he drops into like the high 50s probably.
No, he'll probably drop to like 37.
Okay.
So he'll have like a top 10 will get him in at BMW. That's a tough task, though. Like Molinari isn't playing this week, but he's 13.
Yeah, Molinari.
Like he'll drop to like 20th. Yeah. He'll be fine.
Finau or DJ are definitely winning because I kind of threw shots, even though I'd love both of them to win. For DJ, let's get a cachet win on the year, and for Finau, get the win. Get the win. They're not in the quick picks. They're not in the picks.
One and done. Tim has Anderkirst Brooks Koepka this week. So he had Brooks left, yet decided to use Sung Kang last week.
Was he picking web.com last week?
I don't know what he was doing. Sung Kang made the cut, then shot like +9
Your
on
boy
Sunday.
Streb won.
Yeah, Streb won the event, yeah. Malnati was up there. It was like the Pat Mayo first round leader, eclectic mix of losers, all competing for the web.com title.
Chris Kirk 200. Yeah. You picked, or that you just gave Tim's pick?
I just gave Tim's pick.
I had Spieth last week. Who'd you have again?
Day.
You won.
You know you won.
No.
I think so.
I think
They may have tied. Because I think Spieth saved par on 18. I think they both finished at 6 under. Anyway, do you have anyone in mind?
I'll say Hideki, because I didn't use him in Phoenix.
Okay.
And I don't know. There's no way I've used him. I've just been watching him.
Day did win. They won by a stroke. -8 to -7. I don't even know who I have left. I'm so out of it, it really doesn't matter.
Me too.
Have I taken... I'll take
I don't
Rose.
care. Take whoever you want.
I'll take Rose. Because the last time I tried to use Rose, he WD'd before the tournament, and then I switched to Tiger. So I'll take Rose. So Rose, Hideki, and Brooks are the picks. All right. Any final thoughts? Europe or Team USA? Who you rooting for?
I can't believe you asked that. Because I was on the precipice of does he want to go here? I'll say this, Pat. I'm neutral. We're neutral.
I'm not neutral. I cheer for Europe.
Okay. Well, I have no, you pick that. You're not, aligned to it by statehood.
No,
or anything.
I'm not European. I'm not American. I have
well,
no dog in it.
I will preface this by saying I have a scar on my leg that remains from doing a full body dive on my buddy's basement carpet when Rose hit that putt a few years ago versus Phil. The side bender. And that amazing day, right? Huge money on Europe. I've been willing to go both sides. It's about a month away. I'm this close from just throwing a flag in the ground and saying it's over. Team USA.
Really?
Yeah.
I still think top to bottom.
Top to bottom, all these guys are gone.
You ever get like injured Ricky? He's on the team like Webb Simpson.
Bubba and Webb are my concerns.
Bubba.
But you got, I don't trust myself to play Rory. Is Stenson hurt? Is Rose hurt? Rahm is going backwards.
Yeah, but
there's a lot of things that are scaring me.
Sure, but you're also getting like plus 125 on them right now.
Is that what it is?
I believe that's what it is because the Americans keep
I know
winning.
they win every week. They win every major. This camaraderie on USA. These guys all seem to really like each other.
Yeah, but like, are you trusting Tiger and Phil in these situations? Like, really? Like, I trust Poulter at the Ryder Cup more than I trust those two.
I'm very close to throwing my flag in the ground.
I always think that Europe has the advantages in these events because they're used to somewhat playing as teams. Like, the Americans just have none of that. They might have camaraderie between one another, but actual team golf, it's not a thing.
But the segments that have really hurt them in the past, they've been doing a lot better at in the last couple. I will say this. The team they sent to Hazeltine, the back end of that team Europe sent to Hazeltine was an embarrassment. Whether by coincidence or whatever, compared to what will be there this time around. I mean, it was Andy Sullivan.
Yeah,
it was Matthew Fitzpatrick. It was our boy Danny Willett. I mean, the back end, the captain's picks part of this team is so strong. My concern is so many guys Europe will need to rely on that we love are rookies. Rahm Ryder Cup rookie. Fleetwood Ryder Cup rookie. Noren Ryder Cup rookie.
Casey hasn't played it in ages.
Casey, the guys that, to me, that are can sort of swing the tide, they're all rookies. They've never done it before. I just look at this U.S. team, and it's funny to think, like, Webb's scared, Webb and Bubba.
But it could be like, as much as...
But they'll have partners. And Bubba with a partner, you could offset some crazy stuff.
Maybe.
Phil with a partner.
Who do you want Tiger to play with? Because I want him to play with Bryson.
Yeah, of course. Isn't that like a thing?
Or just put Tiger and Phil together and just be like, here we go.
No.
Let's get some ratings out of this.
I want Tiger with Bryson. And, yeah. And for like...
I think Reed and Spieth will probably play together again because they're an awesome team. Reed should be playing with Bubba.
Here's my prediction. Bryson is going to have an amazing Ryder Cup.
But he's also a rookie too.
Hold on. He's going to have an amazing Ryder Cup. Then he's going to get this Patrick Reed like momentum mischarge of popularity. Then he's going to have a bad year like Reed did. And then he's going to come back and win the 2020 Masters. Heard it here.
I like it. Remember to actually bet him now.
Well, his numbers for next year's Masters were 100. Now I'm seeing 50 and 60.
Yeah.
Which is whatever. I still think, the way he knows places and will calculate those greens, he's going to win a Masters. If I had to pick a major for him.
Yeah, we see it every week. Like, the tee to green is there every single time. Can he putt? This week he putted.
And he goes around. He plays practice rounds there with Tiger. Like, he's going to win a Masters.
All right. That'll do it. On the Pat Mayo Experience, Dell Technology. We'll be back Tuesday next week, I think.
Yeah.
We might do Monday. We might do Tuesday. We'll try to figure it out. Because this tournament ends on a Monday.
There won't be odds on Monday night.
We can make our own odds.
It'll be, 70, 75 guys?
70 guys. There'll be basically the exact same odds as this. Except Molinari and Ricky will be playing.
Hopefully Ricky.
Ricky. But, yeah. Football next week, though.
I'm excited. I am, this is where I wish I was Dorothy and I could click my heels together and I could be there.
So, next week, we'll have the DraftKings golf show, but there will be rankings with me and Seeley. Week 1 rankings. Week 1 spread picks with me, you, and the cast. That show is back. Gary and I will be talking a little bit as well, and we'll have the full DraftKings breakdown. But for now, It's a Dell technology. Go check out that DraftKings NFL show. I talked about using the promo code ThePME on dailyroto.com to get 10% off their fantasy football package. Plus, there's a giveaway for their NFL package, complete with all the tools, the lineup generator, all that fun stuff. Just watch the show. It's at the very beginning, and you can figure it out. For this week, in the comment section, DraftKings handle, give the episode a like, and let me know who you think is going to win the FedEx Cup, the $10 million payday. Who's it going to be? Give me an answer, and you're in the draw. We'll announce the winners next week. Anyway, I'm Pat Mayo. Good luck with the Dell Technologies Championship. I'll see you next time.
Fat Mayo Experience! Experience!